Shalom. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to you brothers to the four corners of the earth, preaching this word and also laboring in this word in true love and sincerity. And may blessings fall upon the houses of the 1/3. Shalom. And as I was meditating in the spirit, as I was reading today, Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, 32nd verse, and also a few others that I was skimming through, dealing with the 32nd verse, the point where it says, and there shall be no might in thy hand. We know, from the 15th verse on down to the 68th verse is dealing with all the curses that befall the children of Israel, okay, before our disobedience unto the Lord. So I really want to touch on this, and there shall be no might in thy hand, very briefly, and hope it's edifying to the spirit. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump to the first verse so we can, so you can get an idea what this is speaking of, because we always have, new people coming in to just learning about that we are the Hebrew Israelites. So, other people you may already know of how we go into Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter a lot, dealing with how it goes into the blessings for us and then the curses for this, the blessings for us if we obey what the Heavenly Father says, but then also the curses that fall upon us for our disobedience. So for the new viewers out there, they may not know this. So this is why I'm about to go into this, all over again. Okay, so just bear with me. All right, so this is Deuteronomy 28th chapter, the first verse, it says, "And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth." So when you read down to the 14th verse, this are the blessings that the children of Israel that we would get if we would observe and to do all his commandments. Okay. So now when you read down to the verse 15, it says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." You see, so from 15 verse on to the 68th verse, really start with 16 to the 68th verse. It goes into all the curses which have fallen upon the children of Israel. Yes, some of these curses were fulfilled, but a lot of these curses are still upon us, today as well. Okay, because as the scriptures say, these curses will be a sign and a wonder. All right. Okay, so let's get that before we continue with the lesson. Okay, so let's go to Deuteronomy 28 verse 46. It says, let's start at 45. It says, "Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee," who is thee, the children of Israel, "for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever." You see, so these curses was a sign upon us and a wonder, and upon thy seed or our seed forever. Okay, and these curses will not be. We'll be under these curses until we get to the kingdom, until the Lord come back. Okay, let's get that real fast with the book of Revelation. I believe it's. Let's try 21. You know what? It's right here. Okay. We'll start at Revelation 22 verse 1. It says, "And he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as a crystal, proceeding out of the throne of the Most High and of the Lamb. And in the midst of the street of it, and of either side of the river, was there the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations." So if you see, this is speaking of the kingdom, right? And it reads, it says, verse 3, here go to point. and there shall be no more curse. You see? And there shall be no more curse, but the throne of the Most High and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve thee. Shalakia. And his servants shall serve him. Okay, so as you can see, in the kingdom, there's going to be no more curse. Okay, no more curse upon us. All right. Okay, so going to the point. So let's go to Deuteronomy 28th chapter, the 32nd verse, and start this lesson off through the Spirit. Okay. So now as we read, as it was going on before, that we know that these are the curses, that have fell upon us and that is still upon us today. So it's Deuteronomy 28th chapter, the 32nd verse. It says, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all day long. So if you look at old slavery movies, okay, and you've seen our daughters and sons getting traded off and auctioned off in slave markets, the parents would stand there, chained up as usual, not being able to do nothing but had to watch their sons and daughters being traded off. Okay. And this happened in various captivities, but I'm talking about, the main one that people know of today, which came from Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Okay. Because he's the one that has the platform to make all the movies and things today where you can visually see, right, slavery at its finest. Okay. So it says, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given into another people, and thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all day long. So we could also find this in the scriptures, right? Going to the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter, right? It goes straight into what we're reading. Joel 3 verse 3, it says, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. So, during these slave auctions and different trade-offs, they were selling our young boys, right, to be prostitutes, and they were selling our young girls for wine, and many other things that they was doing trades, I'm talking about the nations. They were trading with each other, trading off for our people, many different things that they thought that can profit them, whether it could have been oil or musket guns and tobacco, sugar cane, many different things. Okay. So this what was going on. It says, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Yea, what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, right? The Africans, so-called Africans today, which are the Hamites, and all the coast of Palestine, which these are the Ishmaelites, the so-called Arabs today. Will you render me a recompense? If you recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head? Why? Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians. You see, the Greeks, the Edomites, right? That you might remove them far from their border. Okay. So this right here shows you the triangular slave trade. You had 3 groups of people. You had the Africans today, right? The so-called Africans, which are the Hamites. You had the Arabs, which are the Ishmaelites, and you had the Edomites, which is the so-called white people. Those 3 all joined forces together to help, have this triangular slave trade. Okay. And that's what happened. The Africans also, helped gather our people up on the coasts of West Africa, to ultimately help the Arabs as well, because they was all joined together. They all conspired together to put us in captivity, to sell us to the Edomites, chiefly the so-called Jews, because they are the ones that financed the slave trade. Okay, so when you look at the different slave ships and see who the owners of those slave ships were, hey, they were the fake Jews, man. which really come from the nation of Esau, Edom. Right? They're the fake Jews, but they're still Edomites. Okay. So, but as you can see, Tyre and Zidon and all the coast of Palestine, right? And conspired up and sold us to the Grecians. Okay. So now let's go back. Matter of fact, hold on. Let's get this. All right. So let's go to the book of First Maccabees, because we can link the Grecians to the Edomites. All right. So let's go to First Maccabees 1 verse 1. It says, and it happened after the Alexander, the son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece. And that's speaking him reigning first over Greece, right? As the Edomites, okay, because we know the original inhabitants of the land of Greece was the Japhetic nation, which were a dark-skinned people before they got took over and moved out of that land. Okay, so this is what it's speaking of when it says that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece. All right, and we can link Alexander, the son of Philip, right? Alexander the Great, the son of Philip the Macedonian, back to the Edomites. All right. So now let's go back to Deuteronomy 28 chapter. Okay. So it says, and thy sons and thy daughters shall be given into another people, and thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all day long. And there shall be no might in thy hand. Because when you think about it, you say, well, we were these great, strong people. And there was many of us. How are they able to round us up, right? How are they able to round us up, right? And there's tons of us, and it wasn't even that many of them at that time. How are they able to do this, man? When we know that we are physically stronger than the Edomites, okay? And we are capable of taking them down. So how did this take place? What you don't understand, or what you should understand, is that, hey, the Lord took our power from us, okay? He put us in that position where we were able to be brought low and took down, that we wouldn't have no might in our hand, that we wouldn't even be able to defend ourselves. Not only that, not only defend our children, but defend our women, defend our land from being besieged. He took all that from us. Why? Because our disobedience. Okay, so I could prove that by going to, let's go to the book of Jeremiah, right? Quick example. Jeremiah, the 21st chapter. Let's start at, we want to start at the 4th verse. Let's start at verse 1. It says, the word which came unto Jeremiah from the Lord when King Zedekiah sent to him Pashur, the son of Malachiah, and Zephaniah, the son of Maaseiah, the priest, saying, inquire, I pray thee, the Lord for us, for Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, maketh war against us. If so be that the Lord will deal with us according to all his wondrous works, that he may go up from us. Then said Jeremiah unto them, thus shall ye say to Zedekiah, thus saith the Lord God of Israel, behold, I will turn back the weapons of war that are in your hands, wherewith ye fight against the king of Babylon, and against the Chaldeans which besiege you without the walls, and I will assemble them into the midst of the city. You see? So ultimately, when you break this down, this is going into how the Lord has taken our strength from us. He basically took our might from us, that we wouldn't even be able to uphold and fight against Nebuchadnezzar, man. Okay? Basically, when Nebuchadnezzar will come against us, that they would prevail, because that's what was supposed to take place. Okay, and Jeremiah was trying to tell the people, like, look, man, we're going to go into captivity, and we're going to serve the king of Babylon, but you had our people like, nah, man, they was looking at Jeremiah like a traitor. That's why they was like, man, the hell with Jeremiah talking about, hey, throw him in prison, man. You speak bad things for us. You ain't speaking no good for us. But he was telling them the truth. He was telling them what the Lord was saying, like, look, man, hey, everything, just turn yourself, not turn yourself, but hey, we're going to go into captivity under King Nebuchadnezzar, man. And if you once you stay here, you're gonna be destroyed, man. You know, and there's a little bit more to that. Okay. But basically when you go down to it, Zedekiah and our people wasn't having it, man. Right? They didn't want to go serve Nebuchadnezzar, no. You know? And they was pissed off of Maya for telling them that our homeland was going to be besieged, or our land was going to get burnt, and that we were going to get carried away captive into the land of our enemies. Okay? But the point is, as you can see, it says, verse 4 again, it says, thus saith the Lord God of Israel, behold, I will turn back the weapons of war that are in your hands, wherewith you fight against the king of Babylon, against the Chaldeans which besiege you without the walls, and I will assemble them into the midst of the city. So you're not going to have that strength. You're not going to be able to have that power to defend your land or defend yourself. Okay? Hey, because that was prophecy. The prophecy of the Lord was of us to go into the hand of King Nebuchadnezzar, man. All right? To be carried away into his land and have our homeland besieged. All right? So, see another precept. Let's get Leviticus 26, verse 37. And I'll end off on this. Okay, it says, we're just going to go to the point. It says, and they shall fall one upon another, as it were before a sword, when none pursueth, and ye shall have no power to stand before your enemies. You see that? So the Lord took our power from us. That's why we were not able to stand before none of our enemies. Okay? Now I'm speaking of the times where when we were supposed to fall down for our us not hearkening to the ways of the Lord. Okay? Now when the times that when we were and the times that we were prevailing and warring against the enemies and overcoming them, that was for that purpose. But when we was being disobedient, then hey, the Lord told us, if you're not hearkening to my ways, this was going to come upon you, man. Okay, you're gonna be getting dragged off into the lands of your enemies, man. Okay, your homeland is going to be besieged, and all these other different things that came with it. Okay, you could just read this verse and you could see Leviticus 26th chapter, right? From 1 on down. You can read Deuteronomy the 28th chapter and many more. You know, the things that was taking place against us. But the point is, in this lesson that I was going into is, right, Deuteronomy 28 verse 32, and it's dealing with this. At the end of the 32, it says, and there shall be no might in thine hand. You see, so I'm touching on that is that, hey, the reason why we fell to the low state, the reason why we weren't able to defend ourselves, because the Lord took our power from us. Okay, that's as simple as that. He took our power from us, you know, for our disobedience, for us not following the ways he set before us. Right, you see? All right, but hope that was edifying and you can see that clearly what that is speaking of.